Hi, everyone. This is Anna, one of the Digital Innovation Specialists at Mid-Continent Public Library. Today, we are going to look at how we can organize photos on an Android device using the Google Photos and Google Drive apps. If you are an Apple device user, go ahead and check the MCPL MO YouTube channel to find a video about organizing photos on your iPad or iPhone. Organizing photos is not just about putting them in folders and forgetting about them. The first step is going to be to organize the images into folders that make sense for you, and then moving forward, continued maintenance of those folders and images is really important to keep them organized and stop them from becoming very overwhelming. Today, we are going to look at some practical steps for managing our photo collection directly on our device. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is locate all of your photos. There may be multiple apps that are currently housing your digital photos, so you'll want to look in multiple places. Google Photos might be the app that your device saves photos to by default or automatically, but there could be other apps as well. For example, if you have a Samsung device, they do have their own photo app called Gallery. Photos can also be saved in any cloud storage apps. So this can include Google Drive or Dropbox are just a few examples of those. My suggestion would be to go through any app where you think you've seen your photos and make a list of any apps where you find them. So that'll give you a good place to start. Then you're going to want to look at these apps and try to determine if photos are duplicated. So are you seeing the same photos in multiple places? Now that you've kind of gathered that information, you're going to want to determine where you want all of your photos to live. So the easiest way to keep them organized is to save them all to the same place. In today's video, we are going to use the Google Photos app because it is pre-installed on most Android devices, and it may already be the default app for your photos. But you can choose another app if you find something that suits you better. The organization steps are going to be the same, no matter what kind of Photos app you are using. So we will also look at how to send a photo from one app to another in a few minutes. But the first thing I want to do is open up the Google Photos app. And if you already have some photos saved, this is how your app is going to display, showing all of your photos and separating them by date. This date could be the date the photo was taken, or it could be the date that you added the photo to the app. So maybe if you saved it from somewhere online, it might not show up the date that the photo was taken, but it will show up on the date that you added it to your collection. So already the app is helping us start to organize by grouping the images by date. And as I scroll through, you can see how the app, it groups the photos. I can group them by day, then by month and year. And at the top of my screen, there is a search box. I can tap this, and from the suggestions, I can see that I can search for certain types of photos or even for videos. To get out of this, if I don't want to do a search, I'll just tap the back arrow in the upper left corner. Now in the upper right corner, I can see a little icon with the letter A. Tapping this icon is going to show me what Google account I'm using. This is important if you have more than one Google account that you're using on a device, because this is going to tell you where to look for your photos if you're trying to access them from another device or from a web browser. This is also where you can set photos to be backed up to your Google account. So this is how you can save the photos with cloud storage. If you want to be able to access the photos from any internet-connected device, you're going to want to turn backups on. Otherwise, the photos are going to be stored on the device only. So if you prefer that, you can turn the backups off here. I'm just going to tap the X in the upper right corner of this pop-up to close it. I do have some options to change the layout of my photos on the screen. So I'm going to tap this 3-dot icon that's on the right beneath my account icon. So the icon with the letter A, it was an A because that's the first letter in my name, Anna. You may be seeing a different letter for your account, or if you have added a profile picture to your Google account, you may see a very small version of that in that icon. We are now going to tap the 3-dot icon that's right beneath that account icon. And here I can see that my layout is currently set to day. So it's dividing the images by the date that they were saved. But I can also change it to comfortable or month. Comfortable doesn't seem to be working for me today. My guess is that I don't have enough photos to make that option available. But I can see that if I choose month, it does change how the images are grouped together on this main screen. I also have a menu on the left side of my screen. Right now, I can see, because it's highlighted, that I am looking at the Photos page. I can tap the next icon down, Memories, to see memories that have been created by the app, or I can create these myself. If I don't have backups turned on, this feature isn't going to work on its own, so that's just something to note. If I tap Libraries, the next option down in that left side menu, I do get another menu. And at the top, I have options to turn my photos into printed books or other types of photo prints. I can tap View All, and that's going to take me to Google's print store where I can look at images on many different formats and purchase them directly if I choose. In this app, below those print options, I can see various albums that are created automatically. These include favorites, archived photos, utilities, trash, as well as photos taken with a camera and photos downloaded to the device. So the archive and the trash options, they are also available in the left side menu. So there's more than one place that you can access them. This is also where I'm going to see any of the albums that I create. So I can start creating an album from this page as well. If I don't see that option right away, you might need to scroll down to the bottom of the page to find the option to create album. So we'll just tap that, and you will want to give your album a title and then tap Select Photos. Now I'm seeing all of my photos again, and I can tap individual photos that I want to add to the album. When I tap the photos, I should see a check mark display on the image, and that lets me know that the image has been selected. I can also tap and hold with my finger while I slide it along the screen to select multiple photos and even entire rows at once. And then once I have the images that I want, I'll tap Add in the upper right corner of my screen to finish creating the album. I can still add more photos to this album later, as I can see from the Add Photos button that is located here. I can also share the album. So tapping Share gives me a pop-up with different sharing options. So I can share the album with other people if I so choose. Now, if I go back to my library, I can see my new album as well as the option to create a new album. So this page should be utilized a lot when you're organizing your photos. I can also create albums right from a photo. So if I have a photo open like this, I have options in the upper right corner to cast the image to another device, such as a projector or a television. I can tap the star icon to favorite the photo, or I can tap the 3-dot icon to open a More menu. And this menu gives me lots of options. If I want to start a new album, I'm going to tap Add to Album, and then in the pop-up that appears, instead of choosing an album that already exists, I'll tap New Album at the top. And then I'll give it a title, and I do have the option to choose more photos to add right now. And when I'm done with that, I'll tap the check mark in the upper left corner to save those choices. And there are just a couple of other options on the left side menu. So I can tap Search, which is just another way to get to that search option like the search box. I can also tap On Device to see the photos that are saved to my device. So this is going to be helpful if you're trying to figure out if a photo is saved to the device or to the cloud. If it's showing on this page, it's definitely saved to the device. It could also be saved to the cloud. And then here I have my archive and trash options again. If I tap trash, I can see that backed up items will stay in the trash folder for 60 days, while photos that are only saved to my device are going to be permanently deleted after 30 days. So if I have backups turned on, or that really just means if I have cloud sync turned on, the photos will remain available for 60 days. If I only have the images saving to my device, that length of time shortens to 30 days. But anytime before those deadlines, if I realize that I made a mistake and I want to put that photo back in my collection, I can restore it, which removes it from the trash folder and puts it back into the photo library and in any albums that I have added it to. The next step in organizing our photos is going to be to save all of our photos to this designated Google Photos app. So now I'm going to go back to my home screen to find the Dropbox app. And I'm choosing Dropbox just because it's a cloud storage app where you can save images. So I found images in my Dropbox. I'm going to tap to open the app. And here I can see that, yes, I do have some photos saved to this account. To save a photo to my Google Photos, I'm just going to tap on the photo I want to select, and then I should see an option to share. So I'll tap Share, and I want to export a copy of the photo, so I will tap that option. And then instead of tapping where it says Save Image, I'm actually going to tap on the More menu that is just to the right of that option, which is those 3 dots, the icon of the 3 dots. From here, I have the option to add it to Photos. And I can see that it is the Google Photos app. based on the icon that is displaying here. I know that this is the same icon that I use to access Google Photos. So I'm just going to tap the icon, and then I'm going to tap Upload on the next screen. Then I'm going to repeat this process for all of the photos that I want to save. I also do have the option to select multiple files in Dropbox by tapping the checkbox icon in the upper right corner of the screen. And this allows me to copy multiple files at once, so I don't have to do this process one image at a time. And after I've saved a copy to Google Photos, I can delete the copy that's in Dropbox. You can delete them as you go along, or if you do have enough storage space, you could move copies to Google Photos, and after you moved everything you wanted, you could just delete all from Dropbox. So this has been an overview of how to organize photos on an Android device using the Google Photos app. Thanks for watching. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure you let us know by following our MCPL 360 page on Facebook and our MCPL MO channel on YouTube. We premiere new videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. And if you missed the live event, you can always find all of our videos on YouTube on one of our many technology-related playlists on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you again next time.